I got a really interesting question the other day over on my Facebook page, and I thought I'd make a good video tutorial here for the Lightroom Killer Tips site. Okay, so let's go check out the question here. I'll show you. Brenda Jones says, question for you. Store my photos on a 500 gigabyte external drive. So I do too. Actually, I have a terabyte, but store them on an external drive. And they're using Lightroom 3. The drive is now full, so I have a 1 terabyte drive that's empty. How do I move all my photos over there, and how do I get it so that Lightroom works after I do that? So really good question, because I get this quite a bit. Oh, before we get to that, I have a Facebook page. It's called facebook.com/thephotoshopguy. Okay, so I'm logged in as Matt Kliskowski. I don't do anything under my personal page, so you don't have to send a friend request. When you go to this page, there'll be a like button there, and that's how you can see the updates. I also have one on Google+. It's mattgplus.com. That's just a quick way to get to the Google+ page, because they have horrible links on there. So mattgplus.com, and then also Twitter is Matt Kliskowski. So I do lots of different things on each different one. So if it's kind of interesting to follow, because sometimes I post things there that may not always make it over to the blog. Okay. All right. Back over to Lightroom. So here's my situation. I have a 1 terabyte drive. It's called Photo Drive 1. All right. Eventually, one of these days, I'm going to move over to a 2 terabyte drive. All right. So what's going to happen is when I get rid of Photo Drive 1 and I plug Photo Drive whatever in, Lightroom's not going to recognize it. Okay. So I got to take care of all that. And by the way, what I'm about to do works exactly the same for a backup too. I'll talk a little bit about that more toward the end. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over to my Finder window, and here's my Photo Drive 1. I'm going to eject that. Okay, so basically I'm saying, hey, I'm done with Photo Drive 1. I'm going to move all my stuff over onto a different drive. Okay, so same thing that Brenda had said. She's moving her photos onto a different drive. That process is very simple. Drag and drop. Take the photos from one drive, drag them over to another drive. Okay, just copy them. So here's what's going to happen though. And this is, you're going to have to forgive me, because I'm going to have to kind of step a little bit away from my microphone, because I am plugging a different drive in. Okay, so now this is a new drive, and let's just assume it has all my photos on it. I've copied them over from Photo Drive 1, and I've put them over onto a different drive. Now what's going to happen is, even though I've connected a drive, and you'll be able to see here in a second, Matt's work backup drive 2. So I've connected a different drive. Even if it had the same exact photos on it, it was a total clone of the other drive, Lightroom is not picking it up. Okay, so that's because it doesn't know. So the way around this is, it's actually very simple. You could do two things, really. You could come over here, and I could rename this to Photo Drive 1, but the thing that I would do, and what I would suggest you do, is, and let's go over here, let me just set things up, is I would come over into Lightroom, and you're going to right-click on this Photos folder. And this is why it's always a good idea to put your photos into a top-level folder, okay? I could just throw them onto the drive, folder after folder, but I always put them into a main Photos folder. This is one of the reasons why. It just makes it easier to do what I'm about to do, which is right-click on that Photos folder, choose Find Missing Folder, okay? Lightroom's going to pop open a window. I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to find that drive. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on the Photos folder. So I'll click Choose, and so now Lightroom's going to go through, and here we go, Matt's work backup, and it's open back up again. So now it's reconnected with my photos, because I told Lightroom where they are. Even though it's a different name drive, I told Lightroom, hey, I've moved these things, so they're now on a different drive, so I want you to go look somewhere else on a different drive for them. All right, so that's how we would take care of the question that we got. Now, what I wanted to point out was that this works the same exact way for backups. Let's say, for example, the first photo drive that I had plugged in, because here's what I keep 2 backup copies. So I have 2 drives that look identical. Okay, and I make sure that they're identical every few days, every weekend, whatever it happens to be, depending on how many photos that you're adding to it. But I make sure that those drives are identical. So what I can do is, when I take that one drive out, all I do is I plug the other drive in, because now it assumes, okay, that drive crashed. Lightroom doesn't know where it is. Well, I just plug another drive in, right click, go to my photos folder, right click on it and choose find missing folder, point it to the backup drive. So it's almost the same exact process, whether you're moving or whether you're trying to restore from a backup. Pretty much the same exact process. Just make sure the drive looks exactly the same. Copy all your photos over to that new drive. And then when you plug it into Lightroom, it's obviously not going to find them. You're going to get all little question marks over here. If you have that one top main folder, it makes it really easy because you just right click on it, choose find missing folder. Lightroom reconnects everything that's under it. So you don't have to do all the little folders that are under it because everything is in that top level folder. Okay? Well, folks, hope you enjoyed. My name is Matt Kliskowski, and I will talk to you again soon.